Good morning, Year 2. Our fact of the day today is 2 times 12. So this is the last fact we're going to be doing with the 2 times table. I haven't actually written the answer yet. If you look at the picture, that sort of shows you very clearly how you can work out the answer using your tens and your ones, because we've got 2 tens and we've got 2 twos. So we know that 2 twos makes 4. And we know that 2 tens is 20. So 2 times 12 equals 24. And I haven't done it using lots of 2's this time because that would have taken a really long time. But we'll just turn it the other way around because we know 12 2's is also 24. Now we're not going to do too many inverse and mega facts this time. But let's see if we can just turn it into a division. So 24 divided into 2's will make 12, and 24 divided into 12's will make 2. Let's make it a teeny bit bigger by doing 12 times 20. And so remember the adding a 0 rule. That would make 240. And then we can turn that one the other way around. So 20 12's would be 240. And let's put the 0 on the other side now. Let's do 120 times 2. And if you did that in columns, so 120 add 120, you can check that our way works. So 2 tens add 2 tens is 4 tens, 100 add 100, it will still be 240. Now what we're going to do now is just explore using column addition to find out some more times 12s. Not all of them, but we're just going to do a few more. So if we're using column addition, we already know that 2 12's are going to make 24 because 2 add 2 is 4 and 1 10 add 1 10 is 24. So what I want you to try and do is see if you can work out what 3 12's would be. So remember, you add up the 1's first, then you add up the 10's. And after that, I want you to see if you can work out what 4 12's would be. And you can write it like this in your book. So there are 4 12's, and then you can put, I'll fill in this one because we know this one, 24. Fill in the answers to 3 12's and 4 12's. Now I'm going to help you with 5 12's because something is going to happen when we add up 5 12's. Can we fit them in first? Let's see. 1 2 3 4 5, just. So there are 5 12's. I wonder if any of you have already worked out what the problem might be. So we've got, these are the 10's and these are the 1's. Let's count the 1's in 2's. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We've got 10 1's. Now cast your minds back. Are you allowed to have 10 1's in the 1's column? No, you are not. You're only allowed 9. So I wonder if any of you remember what happens when you've got 10 1's. Remember we had a little character, didn't we, called Ben 10 to help us remember. So if we've got 10 1's, you're not allowed it. You've got 1 10. So you put the new 10 down the bottom there and you've got 0 1's because there are no 1's in 10, are there? There are no 1's in 10 at all. So now we've got to add up all of those 10's. 1 2 3 4 5. Don't forget him down there. 6. So all together it's 60. And you might now remember that one from when we're doing Percy Parker. It's the last one he sings, isn't he, when he does the 5 times table, is 12 times 5. So I want you to write those neatly in your book. And if you're feeling really clever, you could carry on and maybe try 6 times 12 and write that one out. But it's very easy to get muddled up if you're making such a long column. So have a go at those and write them in your book. Our TLP for today is, can I use a number line to divide? Now you might recognise these three characters from when we were using the number line to times. And we called the frog times 2, and the gazelle was times 5, and the cheetah was times 10. Now you can always do that the opposite way round and use them to divide. So let's call the frog divide by 2, because remember he's only allowed to jump in 2s. This one was only allowed to jump in 5s, and this one was only allowed to jump in 10s. So let's think of a number sentence. What if we had 8 divided into 2s? Now, just like we were doing with our grouping and our multiples, we can use the frog to get to 8 in 2s and show us how many 2s there are. So if he was jumping it, he'd jump it like this: 2, 4, 6, 8. And it's a shame he can't draw and jump at the same time. Let's draw what he just did. He went 2, 4, 6, 8. Now how does that tell us how many 2s are in 8? You count his jumps. He managed 4 jumps, so 8 divided by 2 is 4. Let's try 15 divided into 5. So if the gazelle started down here and had to get to 15 in 5s, he could do 1 5, 2 5s, 3 5s, and if we draw that on, it would be 1 5, 2 5s, 3 5s. So you can see there that there are 3 5s in 15. Of course, it's just the inverse of timesing, because 3 times 5 equals 15. It's just the same thing, but the other way round. And so if we've got the cheetah jumping up to 10, he'd start on 0. He's jumping in 10s, so there's 1 10 and there's 2 10s. So there are 2 10s in 20, all the way up to there, then all the way up to there. 20 divided into 10s equals 2 10s. Now where a number line can be really useful is with remainders, when it doesn't divide equally. So if we were dividing 12 into 3s using a number line, we'd put a circle around the big number, and then we'd start from 0 and see how many jumps of 3 we can fit into 12. So that's 1 jump of 3, another jump, another jump, another jump. So how many jumps have we got? 4. So 12 divided into 3s is 4. So this is one we haven't done before. It's quite a big number. We've got 18 and we're still jumping in 3s. Now remember, if you're jumping in 3s, that means 3 spaces will be jumped over. So up to 3, and it will look like an even pattern. You can normally tell if you've made a mistake. And there we are. So how many jumps? And this time I am going to have to count them. We're not going to guess this one. 6. So there are 6 3s in 18. Now Mr. Minion's looking a bit shocked again. I don't know if he's just shocked because he's seen an odd number. Maybe he already knows that 13 is an odd number, and so it's not going to divide equally into 2. So let's see what happens. We put a circle around 13. And we're going to jump in 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Stop! Because you can't go any further. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2s in 13. But hopefully you've noticed this space here. There is 1 remaining, so remainder 1. Now it's still an odd number, but I think he's looking happier because now he knows how to do it. So 15 is the big number, and we're jumping in 4s. So starting at 0, 4, 8, Make sure we've got 4. 12. Now, can we fit in another 4? No, we can't. So we've got 1, 2, 3 4s. And how many are remaining? 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 remaining. So there are 3 4s in 15. Remainder 3. So this time it is an even number, but it's jumping in an odd number. So we're going to jump to 20 and see if we can get there in 3s. So we're going to start at 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Now you might remember we already did that one. So how many 3s was that? That was 6 3s. So there's 6 3s in 20. And if you look at the end here, there's a remainder of 2. There are 2 left over. Your task for today is to work out these division number sentences using your number line in your pack. Now the purple ones, you might already know some of those. So you might already know them off by heart, or you might have done them using counters, but still have a go recording it on a number line using a whiteboard pen and then rubbing it out again just to practice doing the equal jumps. Now one's been done for you down the bottom. You'll need to write them in your book first. Now the red ones are all going to have remainders. So make sure you definitely do those on a number line or you'll get in a bit of a muddle. If you haven't got a number line, you can still use counters. So you could still get 8 counters, put them into groups of 3, see how many groups of 3 there are, and then you record the remainder by writing a little R and then writing the number. So good luck with those. Now I'm not sure if you had number lines in your pack because I wasn't here when the packs were packed. So if you haven't, you've still got the option of drawing it like we did with the multiplication. So if we were doing 12 divided into 2s. You could draw it like that, and then we've got 6 2s. So you can use your ruler, if you still got it from last time, to do the same thing. You can draw on it with a whiteboard pen, and it does rub off. Let's go all the way up to 12. And there you've got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2s in 12.